Hi friends, welcome back. In this video, we are going to see how to backup and restore a bucket using cbbackup and cbrestore. This is the backup command. We need to provide any IP address of the cluster nodes and the directory where we want to take the backup credentials and the name of the bucket that we want to backup. Also threads to speed up the job. So I have already connected to one of the cluster nodes. Let me copy the backup command. I'm intentionally ignored the threads because my nodes doesn't have enough CPU resources, so I'm executing it without threads. You can see backup completed. This is the restore command, the directory where the backup is located, and the target cluster IP address where you want to restore the backup, and the source and destination bucket details. So here I am restoring from rest bucket to rest TMP bucket, and the credentials. Conflict resolve is used to force all the data to be copied or restored to Couchbase. If you see the documentation for CB restore, conflict resolve equal to 1, which is by default. Disable the conflict resolution. We will see about this option. First, let me restore without this option. Before triggering the restore command, we can check rest TMP bucket whether it is empty or if it is having any documents. Rest TMP is not having any documents at the moment. Triggering the restore command. Restore completed, and if you see, there is a warning: cannot transfer data from source bucket rest to the target bucket because it uses sequence number conflict resolution, but the rest TMP bucket is using a different conflict resolution type. Let me trigger the same command with conflict resolve and see what will happen. You can see now the transfer is completed. Let's validate, and we can also see rest-tmp is also having 8 documents. If you see here, although the rest bucket and rest TMP bucket are having same conflict resolution type, somehow it is reporting the conflict resolution type is not same, so it cannot transfer data. So to avoid conflict resolution related error messages, we can use conflict resolve 0. Now let me try to restore into another bucket which is having a different conflict resolution type. For example, rest bucket is having conflict resolution as timestamp and rep-bucket is having conflict resolution as sequence number. Let me leave the bucket as it is with 3 items and then try to restore rest bucket backup dump into rep-bucket and see what happens. First, let me trigger the command without conflict resolve. We can see the transfer is completed, and we can also see 11 items in rep-bucket. Here, surprisingly, we didn't get any error related to conflict. In case if we got any error related to conflict resolution, we can use this parameter. You can also refer the documentation for the same.